You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Thursday, May 21st. I'm Maria Lisignoli.
I'm Johnny Connor. Thanks for watching and listening to Four Things to Know.
We have a lot to get to today, Johnny. A lot of breaking news happened early on in the day, and our top story is a major update to Minnesota's ongoing fraud crisis. The Department of Justice charged 15 people for fraud schemes that they claim took around $90 million from Minnesota taxpayers. The Department of Justice says this fraud involved 7 different state-managed Medicaid programs. One of those programs, housing stabilization, meant to help homeless people, had to be shut down last year because all the money was gone. Autism programs were also involved in these charges today. The DOJ says those programs swelled from a cost of $600,000 a few years ago to more than $400 million right now. They claim the fraudsters used the money they got to buy lavish gifts, homes, and cars. Today, Colin Montgomery, the Assistant Attorney General for the National Fraud Enforcement Division, had this message for anyone committing fraud.
And now my message to the fraudsters is this: eat, drink, and be merry today, because your days of frolicking and freedom are numbered. We are doing everything we can to find you. And when we do, we will prosecute you. And we will claw back every dollar you have stolen from the American people.
The DOJ says they will be expanding their fraud operation in Minnesota, adding 15 additional investigators. Now, we have reached out to Attorney General Keith Ellison, who runs the state's Medicaid Fraud Control Unit. His office says that unit was part of the joint state-federal investigation into this fraud. We have a crew working on this story today, and we're going to, of course, keep you updated in our evening newscast and online. But, Johnny, we're sticking with fraud for number 2 today as well.
Yeah, Maria, it's a huge topic today. Another huge update out of the U.S. District Courthouse in Minneapolis. A judge today sentenced Aimee Bock to more than 41 years in prison. She was the founder and executive director of Feeding Our Future and the ringleader of the biggest fraud scheme Minnesota has ever seen. And Frankie McClister was in the courtroom when Bock addressed the court before she was sentenced today. And he also spoke with her defense attorney, Kenneth Bock, and Joe Thompson, the former U.S. attorney for the state of Minnesota.
Good afternoon. When Aimee took the stand, honestly, she had tears in her eyes. She said sorry so many times that I personally lost count. She apologized to the public and also her kids. And in addition to that, she noted that she realizes that she failed. Now, it was a jam-packed courtroom that happened right as we stand behind me. It lasted nearly an hour and a half, and every single seat was taken. Notable names like former U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson and current U.S. Attorney Daniel Rosen were witnesses in the room as well. Now, the judge heard from the attorneys of both sides. Bock's attorney said the 45-year-old didn't go into this to enrich herself.
We still maintain that much of the fraud committed by some of the sites, some of the people, was not orchestrated by Ms. Bock, was not encouraged by Ms. Bock. But, you know, this is water on the bridge.
Aimee Bock did everything she could to earn it. The judge found what we all knew, which was that Feeding Our Future was entirely fraudulent. All the sites under its sponsorship were fraudulent. And she carried out the scheme every step of the way.
Now, those that took the stand representing the United States said that Minnesota will never be the same due to her actions. Bock is 45 years old. 79 have been charged thus far in this case. She's also being asked to pay back the full entire amount of losses to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And folks, that is over $242 million.
And Maria, today we also learned about new fraud charges against a Minneapolis daycare owner who is also connected to the Feeding Our Future scheme.
Yeah, Johnny, that's right. And federal prosecutors say Fahima Mahamud submitted false claims to the state's child care assistance program and collected more than $4 million in taxpayer money. That was years after they say she claimed to feed thousands of children during the pandemic and pocketed more than $850,000. These new charges come just 1 month after federal prosecutors raided more than 20 daycares and autism centers. Mahamud owned Future Leaders Learning Center, one of the daycares featured in a now viral video posted in December. Court documents also state Mahmoud used taxpayer dollars to purchase property and gave money to companies associated with her, including an autism center. We will, of course, continue to follow these developments in the fraud crisis in our state, and we'll keep you updated.
Now to your third thing to know today, we have an important update in the wake of Minnesota's ICE surge. A federal agent charged with pointing a gun during a case of road rage plans to turn himself in. Investigators say in February, Gregory Morgan Jr. drove illegally on the shoulder of Highway 62, then rolled down his window and pointed a gun at people in another car who had apparently tried to cut him off. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty announced the charges last month and put out a nationwide warrant for Morgan's arrest. Now, last night, Morgan's attorney said the highway encounter was, quote, brief, frightening, and highly stressful, and that Morgan did not initiate it. But the Maryland resident plans to turn himself into Minnesota authorities tonight. We will, of course, keep you updated on that story.
And for number 4 today, Johnny, we know it's Memorial Day weekend, and we know a lot of people are going to head up to the cabin this weekend.
Roadways are going to be busy.
Very busy. It really kind of marks the unofficial start of summer, right? People going up to their cabins, Memorial Day weekend. So that's why today, police officers kicked off a statewide safer driving campaign. The aim is to slow down drivers, right? Prevent deadly crashes along the way. Police officers say right now is a very critical time for traffic safety efforts. We heard from Lieutenant Mike Lee with the Minnesota State Patrol.
What troopers and other first responders see are the moments that stick with us for the rest of our careers. We knock on doors to deliver tragic news. We speak to families on the side of the road during the worst times. We see frightened children in the back seats of damaged vehicles after a crash. We see vacations, graduations, weddings, and futures changed forever because of one bad decision behind the wheel. All of these crashes are completely preventable and unacceptable.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it's crazy. One bad decision, can ruin other people's,
entire lives.
So that,
exactly.
This messaging campaign, super important, and it also applies to the water.
I mean, yes, you think about Memorial Day weekend, going to the cabin. You're also thinking about boating safety, right? So today we also learned from the DNR some safety measures. We've already had our first fatality of the season, and we have a couple safety measures from the DNR here, including don't bring alcohol on the boat. I know that it's tempting, and if you do, just keep it as though you're going to drive. Stay under the limit. The department says that that's the biggest problem in deadly accidents is alcohol.
Yeah, and it's not a surprise, right?
No,
Same thing in deadly car crashes.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Another big one, wear a life jacket, obviously. And this is a big one that I didn't know about, Maria. You probably did because you grew up more on the water, but own your wake, because your wake is what your boat makes or whatever you're in, and it can affect water skiers, jet skiers, if you don't really know what you're doing.
Yes, exactly. I love the way they say that, own your wake, because it's like an extension of your own boat. And you're right, it really can impact a lot of other people's boating experience, but also safety.
100%.
Yeah. So yes, be comfortable on the water, take the boating safety exam, and if you just, take it easy and have that comfortability, everything will be fine out there for sure. Those are the 4 things to know today. Now let's check in on our next weather forecast.
Hey guys, 6 weather meteorologist Adam Del Rosso checking in. Things pretty quiet for our Thursday evening. We'll have a couple of passing clouds, but I think we notice more of those clouds overnight and into our Friday morning. They do keep our low temperatures pretty seasonable. We'll be in the upper 40s, close to 50 for our low temperatures tonight. It is going to be a little bit cooler across the Arrowhead, where some outlying areas are going to be able to drop down close to freezing. So there have been a couple of frost advisories just to remind you to either bring inside or cover up that sensitive vegetation, but again, not nearly as cool in the metro. Tomorrow, we're going to be in the mid-60s. There could be a few showers, especially later in the day as we head toward the evening hours. A weak disturbance is going to be moving on by. Some of those rain showers will continue into our early Saturday morning. I think most of them are gone by the time the sun even comes up. And the rest of our Memorial Day weekend should be dry with some sunshine. Temperatures will stay in the mid-60s for Saturday before we jump up closer to 80 on Sunday. And some of us will push closer to 90 for Memorial Day on Monday.
And now, here's more to know.
If I accidentally hit him crow hunting, too bad. That's what investigators say a man said after he shot a plane helping fight a wildfire up north. The bullet hit the plane Friday while it was scooping up water from a lake near Bike. The pilot said he heard a pop and then found the bullet hole after he landed. Prosecutors charged a 48-year-old man for firing the shot. He told investigators he thought the plane was flying too close to his house and fired several times, but didn't try to hit it. Yes, thankfully that pilot was all right and no one was hurt there. We do know that a lot of damage was done up on the North Shore, where residents were finally able to return home this week. This is after the Stewart Trail fire on Friday, when people had to leave their homes and cabins. Officials say the fire burned nearly 400 acres north of two harbors. We spoke with a resident up there, Maddie Taylor.
I'm really grateful to be back, and it's sad to look at all this destruction, but I'm optimistic that in time it'll all be just more beautiful.
That's a really good outlook. Now, crews are continuing to mop up the area to make sure all hotspots are out.
We have new details from the deadly shooting at a San Diego Islamic center. We have learned that there was a disturbing mention of Minnesota fraud in a 75-page document from two teenagers behind the attack. Now, that was reviewed by CBS News and included Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, and misogynistic rhetoric. 3 people died Monday during that shooting. The 17 and 18-year-old gunmen took their own lives. The FBI says the teenagers shared a broad hatred for several different religions and races.
After nearly 100 years, WCCO AM radio will no longer be affiliated with CBS News, and it will now be affiliated with ABC News. Brad Lane, the station's brand manager, says if all goes to plan, it will become official at 3 p.m. today. The move comes after CBS announced in March their plans to stop radio production. CBS News Radio's final sign-off is slated for Friday at 11 p.m. CBS purchased the WCCO AM radio station all the way back in 1932, and now it will be in ABC's control.
Another story we've talked about this week. It's a fun one, kind of a sad one, too, for listeners. Tomorrow, Dave Ryan's last day on KDWB, and today it was his last live broadcast. He did it at the Mall of America, Maria.
It was in the Rotunda, and it was packed. We had a photographer there capturing it all, and you'll take a listen to this. He brought in former KDWB Dave Ryan in the Morning Show hosts that were on the show with him in those 33 years. And here's one interaction he had with someone who's wearing a very large wig.
It has been such a great first thing. Gary's got this. When you meet him, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to be aware of yourself, and you can't stare at his hair because you can't. He's
Dave, you're staring at my hair again.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, lots of hair. That big puffy white wig. So funny.
Huge. And it was so busy, as you said. I mean, the whole rotunda was packed with people.
I mean, people absolutely love him. He is a staple in this community. And a lot of people got to meet him today. Maybe some for the first time after listening to him for so many years. He's going to be signing off tomorrow morning after 33 years on KDWB, and we wish him the best.
Yeah, congratulations, Dave. Another fun story to end More to Know today. The kickoff to Summer at the Fair, it starts today at 4 o'clock. I might actually be going on Sunday.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, grabbing a beverage and some food. There's going to be more than 40 food and drink vendors open at the State Fairgrounds. It goes through Sunday. Tickets are still available. They are a bit limited. Maria, do you have any plans to get out there?
I think it'd be fun, but probably not. I'll save it for the actual fair.
Thing. Get hungrier.
However, I do love fair food. What's your favorite fair food?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. I'm so on the spot right now.
I know.
Honestly, the cookies aren't my favorite anymore, to be honest with you.
Well, there are so many options now. They used to be my favorite for sure.
Okay, now I remember the Amish donut. That is so good. It's ridiculous.
I haven't waited in line for that yet because every time I go, the line is so long. I'm like, oh.
You got to wait.
I'll get it next year.
You have to wait. It is so good. Just buy the whole box. It's
and honestly, if they're at this little tease taster for the fair this weekend, it's probably a good time to go get those.
100%.
There's not the line. I got to get a corn dog every year. I know that's so boring, but.
Hey, Minnesotan gal,
Minnesota.
Yeah, no one's going to judge you for that. Let's talk sports. The Lynx are back in action tonight. They host the Toronto Tempo. Now, the Lynx 2-2 to start the season. Tip-off set for 7 at Target Center. Tickets are still available if you want to get out and about. The Twins, they've won 3 of their last 4. Now, they're off today, but tomorrow they head to Boston, going to Fenway Park for a 3-game series against the Red Sox.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
There's a new resident at St. Paul's Como Zoo, an adorable baby sloth.
So adorable.
It's really cute. This sloth comes just 1 year after the proud parents faced a heartbreaking loss. Their 3-week-old baby died last year. Ziggy is the 4-year-old father, and Sago, the mother, she's 7. And Sago's pregnancy lasted around 10 months, so similar to a human pregnancy, I
would have had
suppose.
no idea it was that
really,
long.
Right? I know. But now Sago's bonding with her baby, and Ziggy will hide in a cave.
Shy.
The dad's like, I'm not going to be around. Typical. No.
Oh, my goodness.
Como zookeeper Jill Urzar says the new baby is much stronger.
We are so excited to welcome any babies, but this one, it was especially heartwarming following last year's loss. People love to come watch them, even though honestly they sleep 18 hours out of the day.
Can I get some of those 18 hours?
I mean, come on.
Share
I'll
with
take
us.
it.
Yeah.
18 hours. That's incredible. Right now, we don't know the sloth's gender because I guess I didn't know this. It's hard to tell at first.
Interesting.
So you gotta wait a little bit.
I'm learning new things every sentence.
I literally. So they're holding off on names until they find out if it's a boy or a girl. Now, sloths tend to live like 20 years, but in captivity, they can live more like 30 years.
I'm going to have to get out there. I'd see a sloth.
I know, right? Do you know who would love that? I was just about to say, I don't think I've ever seen a sloth in person.
Besides an Ice Age. You know, that the little movie.
Yeah, exactly. Seth the sloth.
Yeah, something like that.
My cousin's daughter, so technically my first cousin once removed, would love this. She's obsessed with
Oh my God,
sloths.
get her out there.
So I gotta get her out there. She'd love a baby sloth. Okay, anyway, I've got some weekend plans, I guess. With Johnny Connor, I'm Maria Lisignoli, and this has been 4 Things to Know. We're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Love podcasts? Love Minnesota?
Check out the WCCO podcast studio lineup.
Hear the top stories of the day with 4 Things to Know.
Discover top female athletes and teams from around the state on women in sports.
Dive into stories about faith and belief, from your local leaders to your neighbors next door, with Bigger Than Belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO podcast studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.